My dear children, let us begin with the new lesson. Lesson 23, Computers. Charles Babbage invented the first mechanical computer. Let us read and understand the lesson. You have learned the mathematical operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. You can do sums which involve any one or more of these operations. You may also solve complicated sums which involve all of these operations. Now here, children, as much as I have read, I will explain it to you. Now, first of all, let me tell you what is a computer. A computer is nothing but an electronic machine that can store, find and arrange information. It also does calculations for us. Now, in this passage that I read for you, we come to understand that mathematical operations, what are they? Addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. Now, all these operations which you have learnt in your school, which you are doing it in your maths, can also be done on this computer. Now you can do all these things in a very easier way, much simpler way, finding out answers, carrying out these expressions, these operations in a very, very simple manner. Now, let us move to the next line. You can calculate the answers quickly if you use tables. But sometimes it is necessary to carry out very complicated calculations that involve very large numbers. Now here, as we read, when we use our tables, it is very easy for us to calculate things, calculate numbers quickly. But sometimes it becomes complicated, it becomes difficult when there are big numbers, large numbers which needs to be calculated. At such times, mistakes are bound to occur in the calculations. What happens at such times? We make mistakes. Then you waste a lot of time checking and rechecking your answers. Now, when your answer goes wrong, what happens? You will keep on checking the answers, you will recheck it, and what happens is you lose a lot of time. How can we avoid these errors and wastage of time? Now let's see how we can avoid this time wastage or the errors that occur while we calculate. A computer is a machine that is an answer to all these problems. Now what is the solution to the problem? A computer. Now this computer, as I told you, is a machine which does a number of calculations. It stores information, it arranges information for you. So this is the answer to all the problems. Computers can solve problems and carry out the most difficult calculations with amazing speed and accuracy. Now when we calculate, when we try to add and subtract or multiply and divide, we take a lot of time. But this computer, this machine, carries out all these difficult calculations in a very, very amazing speed and with accuracy. That means quickly and correctly without mistakes. Computers can do several other things besides carrying out calculations. Now we know that the computer not only carries out different operations, mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication and divisions. These are called as calculations, but also they can do much more. In fact, there are few things that a modern computer is not able to do. Okay, that means a modern computer can do many other operations as well. Computers have memory. Now, we all know that we have memory. We remember things. We memorize things. In the same way, it is said that the computer also have memory. Computers have memory. Remember this. That is, they can store a lot of data or information. Why do we say that they have memory? Because they can store a lot of data or information. They can keep words, pictures and sound in their memory and give you the information within a fraction of a second when you need it. Now, why is it said that the computer has memory? It is because they not only store words, pictures, sounds, but also they give it to you when you need it within a fraction of a second. That means very quickly, in no time. You can get access to all these things that are stored in a computer. That is words that is stored in a word file, pictures that are stored in gallery, and also the music or songs which you have stored in a computer. Computers can process the data or the information according to the instructions given to them. Now, computers can process the data, according to the instructions which are given. Whatever you tell them, whatever you want the computer to do, that is the instructions that you give, and the computer will do according to the instructions given. A modern computer can follow thousands of instructions within a fraction of a second. A modern computer is very quick and it follows the instructions, many instructions, in a short period of time within a fraction of a second. Only the instructions have to be given in a language that the computer understands. Now, the computer can give you a lot of instructions in a fraction of a second, but provided you instruct the computer or you give instructions in a language that the computer understands. So your instructions must be given in such a way that the computer understands it in computer language. You must have heard elder people talking about computer language, Java or C++ or so many other computer languages. Now, a set of code instructions written for a computer is known as a program. Now, what is a program? It is a set of code or instructions which are written for a computer in a specific language, and this is called as program. Writing a computer program is a specialized task. Now, everyone cannot write a computer program. It is a specialized task done by people who are trained for it. The next paragraph. A computer on its own does not make judgments about the instructions given to it. Now here, a computer does not make any judgment because it's a machine, but it only follows the instruction given to it. It follows the instructions blindly because it cannot think like you and me. It only works on the program which is given, the instruction which is given to it. That is why the instructions have to be written very, very carefully. So you understand why the instructions have to be given carefully, because it will only follow your instructions, your program, and it will not judge what you have written. The instructions must cover every step involved in an operation. Now, when you have to follow something, some operation, you have to give the instruction step by step without leaving a simple or a single instruction. You need to instruct the computer about every little step. If you miss a step, the computer will not correct it. I told you it is not like you and me. It's a machine, so it cannot correct mistakes, but it only follows the program. One has to think carefully to imagine every step involved in any task. Let us see if we can imagine all the steps involved in a simple task. Now here, we are said that when we are putting down the steps involved to perform a task, we need to be very careful and put down every little step involved in doing the simple task. Suppose mother has asked you to buy vegetables. Now mother asks you to buy vegetable. You have to divide this task into smaller ones. Now asking you to buy a vegetable is a task, but you need to break up this into smaller little tasks. What is it? Going to the grocery shop, picking up the vegetables you want and paying for them, coming back home. So these are the steps involved in buying the vegetables. Then you have to subdivide these tasks into still smaller ones. Now after these steps, the 3 steps which I told you, those 3 steps, that is going to the grocery shop, picking up the vegetables and paying them and coming back home, needs to be divided into much smaller ones, smaller tasks. Now you can see a flow chart. Then you have to subdivide these tasks into still smaller ones, and the example is given to you in the form of a flow chart. Going to the grocery shop, taking a bag for the vegetables, take money for the vegetables, start from your house, walk down the street, turn right or left, walk down the street, cross the street, enter greengrocer's shop. Now this was the flow chart, a chart which shows you minor details, information that needs to be done, the task that has to be done for accomplishing buying of vegetable. So this is how one task is subdivided into different smaller tasks. Each of these smaller tasks can again be divided further into even smaller tasks. Try to do that choosing any one of the above steps. Thus, we see that computers are smarter than men, but it is men who do the difficult job of making them smart enough. So you understood this. It's very important to know this point because we human beings design, program the little task that has to be done in different steps. And we feel that the computers are smarter than men. But it is not so. Man is more smarter because it is human beings, it is men who do the difficult job of putting down all the instructions, making the program. The next paragraph. So, the next time you play a game on a computer or watch a video or obtain some information, think of the men who put in so many efforts to make it all possible. Now, here is a very important lesson for you, a very important thought which is given that next time you play a game on a computer, I am sure that you all like to play games on a computer or watch a video, and at times we also go and sit on the computer to find out different information. Now when you're doing so, remember the men who put in so many efforts, that is so much of hard work. Why? Because these men who are called as programmers or game developers, the one who make games are called as game developers. They work hard to do this for you and me. And therefore, when we use the computers to gain information, to play a game, we need to remember these people, and therefore we can develop an attitude of being grateful or thankful to the people who help us. Thank you.